Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be playing with the new Halo Glow liquid filters, and of course we are going to be comparing it with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, which I believe these are meant to be a dupe for. Now there's a huge difference in price. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter retails for $44 and these e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filters retail for $14. I have been trying to avoid the videos doing this comparison like the plague because I like to not be swayed by other people's opinions. I want to have my own, but I have not been able to avoid the comparisons over on my Instagram. I have seen a few creators comparing the two. Now for the most part what I've heard is that everybody's like, oh yeah, it's the exact same, and in my video what I want to do is actually look for the differences. No matter how minute they are, I want to see what the differences are, the true differences are between these products. Now I use my Hollywood Flawless filter in shade 3. I absolutely love this product and I use it sometimes as a primer, sometimes as a very natural highlighter, and so that is the way that I plan to try it today. And I could not decide which shade was going to be the most similar to my Hollywood Flawless filter, so I ordered two different shades of the Halo Glow liquid filter. I ordered shade 2 and 3. This is what the Halo Glow liquid filter looks like up close, and as you can see the packaging is not bad. It actually has a glass bottle and a doe foot applicator, which, wow, it's massive. Here it is in comparison to my Hollywood Flawless filter. My Hollywood Flawless filter doesn't have any letters on it anymore. They all rubbed off. And take a look at the difference in the applicators. The e.l.f. one is definitely much bigger in comparison. It's kind of like double the size, I would say. It's massive. I'm going to swatch my Hollywood Flawless filter because I'm still not sure about which color will be closer. I have the Hollywood Flawless filter in shade 3. This right here is shade 2 of the e.l.f. one, which, as you can see, it's a lot more golden. So far from what I can see, I would say it has a similar amount of shine, but a different undertone for sure. And then here's shade 3 of the e.l.f. one, which is, I would say, a little darker, but the right undertone. Now the first main difference I can totally see between the two formulas is that the Hollywood Flawless filter is a lot more sheer of a product, and these have actual coverage in them, but I'm not sure how that's going to show up once the colors are blended. Because the undertones are much more similar, I'm going to end up using my Hollywood Flawless filter with the shade 3 from e.l.f., which would be the same shade as my Hollywood Flawless filter because I have my Hollywood Flawless filter in shade 3. I have two clean damp sponges, one for each side, and on the right side of my face I'm going to go with the Hollywood Flawless filter. I'm going to put it on my cheeks, on my temples, a little bit on the forehead here, and half of my chin. And I'm just blending it in with the sponge. So take a look at what that looks like. As you can see, the Hollywood Flawless filter has a little bit of coverage, so it makes my skin look very glowy, but it also kind of helps to hide my redness from my rosacea on my cheeks. So now let's try the e.l.f. Halo Glow on this side in shade 3. Other sponge. And we are blending. I'm looking at them side by side. I'm trying to look for differences. I'm not seeing many. I'm going to lower the light and see if we can see better. So this right here is the e.l.f. side. And here is the Hollywood Flawless filter side. As far as the consistency on my face, I'm trying to touch to see if there's any more stickiness on one side than the other. Maybe because the e.l.f. one has a little bit more coverage, it might be just a tad bit thicker, and so I feel like this side might be maybe a little bit thicker, but like barely. Like I'm trying to really look for the differences between the two. I'm adding just a little bit more because I want to see if I can see a difference in the amount of glow maybe, and I lowered my light so that you guys can see a little bit more true to color everything I'm doing. Once again, this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter side and the e.l.f. side. I'm really trying not to make things up, but at the same time tell you the true differences I see between the two. But I feel like the e.l.f. side, maybe because it is a little bit thicker and my dry skin prefers thin products, I feel like I can see texture and pores a teeny tiny bit more on the e.l.f. cheek than I can on the Hollywood Flawless Filter cheek on the mirror. I'm holding a mirror right here, and I feel like these pores right here might be just a teeny tiny bit more enhanced than the Hollywood Flawless Filter side. Now, as far as the glowiness of the products is concerned though, I really can't tell a difference between them. I feel like both of them are just as glowy. I turned my light back up, and one foundation that I love to use with my Hollywood Flawless Filter is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish foundation, because this foundation is a beautiful thin medium coverage foundation that lets the shine come through so nicely. So I'm going to use this one on both sides, of course. This is super liquidy and one of my all-time favorite foundations for sure. So I'm just going to, with my sponge, blend it all over this side of my face. And switching sponges, doing this side next. Now that the Pat McGrath foundation is applied over both sides, there truly isn't a visible difference that I can tell at all. Both sides look nice and glowy. The glow is coming through beautifully through the foundation, and I don't see any difference now when it comes to texture or anything like that. I feel like both sides look pretty much the same. So I'm going to keep going with my usual makeup routine. I'm doing a color corrector under my eyes, concealer, and then just blending the concealer in place. I'm using my Laura Mercier Tone Up setting powder underneath my eyes, in the center of my forehead. Okay, I'm lowering the light again. I want you to see with the light down, this is what both sides look like after I just sort of finished my foundation, concealer, and added a little bit of powder. I was looking at it in my mirror right here, and see how this is like a little bit smoother looking, a little bit more covered. And this right here, I can see kind of my rosacea coming through a little bit more. Maybe that texture that I was speaking about before is still coming through a little bit. It's not much of a difference, I know, but I can tell. Right here, I can see a little bit more of kind of what's underneath my texture and whatnot, which is weird because the e.l.f. one looks like it has more coverage than the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but on my super dry skin, it just seems to not look as smooth as the Hollywood Flawless Filter does. Now, with that price difference, I don't know that I would care much because 14 versus 44, you know? But I'm just trying to be as transparent as I could possibly be. I'm going to bronze it up now, and this is the Cosmetics Sculpting Powder Bronzer. For blush, I'm going to use Pat McGrath in the shade Flirtation. This is what we're looking like with the lights back up. And I do want to do a little bit more of this as a natural highlighter on top of my powders and see how it performs that way, because I have used my Hollywood Flawless Filter countless times in that way. So I'm just going to do a few dots right here and blend it in with my sponge. So take a look right there. And let me do the same thing on this side. And blending it in with my sponge. As a highlighter on top of my makeup, I have to admit there is no difference at all whatsoever. They both look the exact same. And now that I've applied blush to my cheeks, I can't even see that like redness and texture that I was telling you about earlier, because the blush kind of blended it in because it's, you know, pinkish. So, wow, there really is barely any difference between the two for the huge price gap. I'm definitely extremely impressed at how close these two products are to one another. Wow. let me collect my thoughts while I put mascara on. I will be right back. Back with my makeup fully done. I just did some mascara and then a little lip liner and clear gloss on the lips, and this is the final result. I'm staying with nothing on my eyes because I'm really hoping that my Natasha Denona mini bronze palette finally arrives today. I don't know why, but it feels like lately everything is taking 1 to 2 days longer to get to me, which is irritating me because I could have had these videos up already. But anyways, I'm waiting for my Natasha Denona mini bronze palette. Fingers crossed that it will arrive today, and so I'm not going to do anything else on my eyes, just a little bit of mascara, and let's go back to focusing on the e.l.f. Halo Glow versus the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have told you every single little difference I have been able to see along the way throughout the process of applying these two products. But now that I have everything else also applied on top, I have a full face of makeup going on, I can tell you that the differences are extremely minimal, if any. Like I said, the main difference that I can truly tell between these two is that the e.l.f. Halo Glow has a bit more coverage and is a bit thicker in consistency. My very dry skin, and if you've been watching my channel for any length of time you would know this, loves extremely thin products, very skin-like, and so for that reason, if money wasn't into question, if both of these products were to be the exact same price, I would still go with the Hollywood Flawless Filter because it is a little bit thinner and I could see a little bit less texture on my face before I applied my foundation on the Hollywood Flawless Filter side. Now, with a $30 price difference between the two, 14 versus 44, then I think the e.l.f. one is totally 100% worth it, especially because after you apply products on top of it, you cannot see a difference at all whatsoever. So those right there are my final thoughts on this product. e.l.f. really did it, and I'm definitely very impressed because for the longest time there was not really another product on the market that would actually compete with the Hollywood Flawless Filter. Maybelline tried it, but the Maybelline one was not really that similar. These two right here are identical, and with a $30 price difference, I would definitely recommend the e.l.f. one. But like I said, my skin, if money wasn't involved, if these were to be the same price, still liked the Hollywood Flawless Filter a little bit better. And I'm really hoping that the minor differences that I could see myself translate on camera. So please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you're new to my channel, my name is Patty. I love making videos like these, so if you enjoyed it, please subscribe before you leave, and also don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.